Welcome to US-based news channel. Operations intensified for Luhansk. Ukrainian armed forces have achieved strategic superiority with their all-round advance. Gunfire from the front has become a nightmare for the Russian army. Russia's efforts since the beginning of the war began to fail completely. It is seen that the violence of the war is increasing in the operations that have been going on for months. Moreover, this time, explosions were reported to echo in Luhansk, another key region of Donbass. In the evening, an explosion occurred one after another at Russian military points. After the strong explosions, smoke was seen rising from the region. According to the statements, the Ukrainian armed forces continue to carry out attacks against Russian military points with many military equipment and ammunition, with the activation of the Storm Shadow missiles on the front. Moreover, in line with these operations, it was reported that important Russian authorities were neutralized. Intense clashes are still taking place on the front. In addition, it is seen that the Ukrainian army has started to advance from different directions towards this front. Especially in the last days, it proves that the Ukrainian soldiers are running towards victory. Russian commanders continue to disappoint on the fronts. In the Bakhmut region in the key Donetsk region, the Russian forces' fiasco operations have begun to break out. Thanks to increased moves in and around this direction, Ukrainian soldiers can advance to the border region of Luhansk. Special Ukrainian teams at the front are attacking, leaving no hiding place for the Russian troops. Simultaneous operations could cause the biggest losses for Russia in recent times. This time, it is reported that the Ukrainian army is on the move on the flanks of this Bakhmut front. Progress on the Kleshchivka front near the district achieved. It was stated that gunshots were constantly heard due to clashes. Although the Russian troops withdrew their soldiers in some regions, they concentrated on different regions and tried to concentrate their military resources in one spot. However, this could cause the Kremlin to lose its experienced soldiers due to a strategic error. Intense conflicts put a lot of pressure on both sides. It turns out that in this Bakhmut front, the Ukrainian troops achieved in just a few days what the Russian forces had failed to achieve despite months of effort. Ukrainian forces managed to gain control in the southwest of the area. In the south and north of the region, it was announced that the Ukrainian troops advanced about 1 kilometer more. Ukrainian special teams can gain time by fulfilling their duties in the region with certain planned moves. This causes the Russian army to suffer heavy losses and face their wrong strategies at the front. At the same time, Deputy Minister of Defense of Ukraine Hanna Maliar stated that Moscow has deployed a significant part of its reserve forces to this region. Thus, it is desired to be strengthened in the region. In this direction, it was announced that the Russian troops attempted to attack many times during the day. These attacks targeted the northern outskirts of Bakhmut. However, as a result of great failures, these attacks were unsuccessful. Ukrainian defense forces repulsed these Russian military attacks and forced them to retreat. Strong explosions and clashes are also occurring on the southern outskirts of the region. Even though the Russian forces started an attack with the dream of regaining the points they lost in the region, they are getting further and further away from their target every day. Thus, for the sake of greater success, more critical losses are incurred. As the Russian troops and Russian commanders cannot reach their goal, the advance of the Ukrainian army on the fronts becomes more effective. Moreover, to remind you, more than 10 Russian military positions were recaptured in the south and north of this Bakhmut region in the past days. In this way, many areas were removed from the Russian soldiers. A group of Russian soldiers were taken prisoner and did not even have a chance to escape. In addition, Maliar announced that the commanders of the Hortitsia Operational and Strategic Forces Group, who are responsible for this front, also maintain control around the region. For these reasons, the Russian troops are having great difficulty in advancing. Ukrainian army, on the other hand, is able to drive Russian soldiers away from the territory of Ukraine, thanks to the advance of hundreds of meters, even in just one day. At the same time, it is difficult for Russia to achieve success due to its current problems. Most critical of these is the sanctions imposed on the countries. This situation makes it impossible for them to achieve success on the fronts. Ukraine, on the other hand, continues to run towards success with the support it receives from many countries. Thanks to the support provided from many countries since the beginning of the war, significant advantages have been obtained. This time, it has been announced that Norway will give Ukraine 8 M270 anti-aircraft guns and 3 Hurt artillery guidance radars. Important statements were also made about the training given to the Ukrainian soldiers, and it was stated that they would be accelerated. Norwegian Defense Minister Bjorn Arild Gram announced additional military assistance for Ukraine. Arild Gram explained that Norway provides military aid through the UK-led International Fund for Ukraine and Operation Interflex, a training program for Ukrainian soldiers. He also announced the radars and additional long-range artillery systems to be supplied to Ukraine. It was reported that the support to be provided in this context was made in close cooperation with the United Kingdom. As it is known, this M270 multi-launch rocket system, which is stated to be provided, is very important. These systems, which have a targeting range of around 80 kilometers, such as the HIMARS systems supplied from the United States, have an effective hit characteristics. Due to its advanced features, it can provide a great advantage to the Ukrainian army during the war. In addition, such rocket systems were previously supplied from the United Kingdom, as well as from the United States. All these systems, on the other hand, ensure that the Russian military points are hit from farther points and that the positions of the Ukrainian soldiers can be kept further back. Norway had previously sent 8 Leopard 2 tanks and 4 support vehicles to Ukraine. As these important tanks begin to be used on Ukrainian soil, there is a serious decrease in the ground operation forces of the Russian soldiers. Ukrainian army, on the other hand, is able to achieve success by getting stronger in land and air operations thanks to various supports from many countries. It is known that in the long run, all kinds of moves regarding the war are of great importance. It is also known that all decisions made and every step taken have become more critical. In this direction, it will be necessary for every move to be carried out in a strategic direction. Especially in these days when there is no margin of error for Russia, all of the steps have become more important than the previous one. Otherwise, Russia will not be able to compensate for these losses. In the future, it will be seen more clearly which side can achieve success. We'll see what happens in the next few days. We have reached the end of another video. You can support us by liking the video. You can easily follow new videos by subscribing. I wish you all a war-free day. See you.